to another episode of The Swish Show. As always, I'm your host, Ryan Tuckwood, and today I'm excited to bring to you the founder and sole owner of the Usher Group. For those of you that don't know, the Usher Group started as a humble, small painting business here on the beautiful Gold Coast, and now almost 2 decades on, 19 years I do believe, the Usher Group is recognised as one of the construction and trade industry's most recognisable businesses. The company now works across 9 different service sectors, from painting, signage, maintenance, all the way through to landscaping and labour hire, with over 500 staff of exceptionally highly skilled individuals. I'm assuming and looking to find out some more on how this man has been able to maintain great culture at scale. The Usher Group has been recognised over the years with countless awards for business, training, innovation, and in 2019 was named Gold Coast Supreme Winner of Business of the Year, probably because of the blazer he had on that year. Theo, I'm not going to attempt to pronounce your surname. Welcome to the Swish Show, mate. How are you?
Very well, thanks.
Good to be.
Awesome.
Yeah, good to have you here, mate. We've been speaking about this for a while.
Oh, haven't we?
And you're obviously just over the border in Byron, and there's been a few challenges that we've faced around that, mate.
Oh, man, it was pretty tough there. We were bouncing back and forth a few times, but yeah, borders open. They finally let me back, so I'm here.
Talk to me about that really quickly. I don't want to get too caught up in the COVID side of things, but Byron's not a bad place to be locked down anday.
No,
it's a nice place,
not at all.
nice place in the world. But how did you cope with all of that and working remotely from the team?
Yeah, so just we just went with the whole digital evolution, didn't we? You know, so set up the office a little bit better than what it typically is at home, and brought down there my digital whiteboard that normally sits in our office up there, so I could really communicate with the Sydney and Melbourne offices.
Yeah.
And yeah, just got into a whole environment of bloody Microsoft Teams, Zoom and Skype meetings, which I did get over.
Yeah.
But I plowed myself straight into that at first. Instead of having the one-on-one meetings or going to meet with people, it's like, right, let's just replicate my typical calendar with meetings. And then I got over it, because then I was like, I felt like I was bloody regurgitating the same stuff, and I was never really got the traction I get with the Usher office being such a collaborative environment, and obviously the way we do business there, it's our structure is like, we're so agile. Like, we don't have to go through red tape, and we don't have to go through all these different levels of approval levels, or different types of just red tape. So with us, we can bring the right people in if there's something that we want to talk about, or something that's affected our strategic direction, or something that's happened out on site, or in a part of the country that we want to talk about. We'll just quickly get someone online or on Microsoft Teams, or bring them out of their departments, bring them straight into the office. We'll just bounce real quickly there, we make a decision, and we go with it.
Yeah.
When you're in a lockdown environment, you're on the phone getting buy-in, they're busy, hang on a minute, then go on a Zoom meeting, and just
spread out every decision-making process. And correct me if I'm wrong, I get the gist, having known you for a couple of years now, that you're probably somebody that thrives on the energy of an office and working around other people. Is that a fair assumption?
You know what? It's funny you asked that. Yeah, absolutely. I learned so much more about myself. What I actually worked out was that here we are thinking that, and I'm being told quite often that, I really want your energy in the office, when you're here, Theo, we're pumping up everything, and, everyone's really excited, and I really, I just love being there, right? So then what I found out was that it's actually, I need it, I needed to be around, my colleagues, my people, like all my mates. Like, I've grown up in that business. It's like you said, it was, we're 20 years this year. So, and we're gonna have a big party. But anyway, so that's such an impact in my life, and such a massive part of my life, that I realised during lockdown how much I need Usher, not Usher needs me.
Nice.
It's my home. I spend more of my time there than everywhere else. It's what I breathe and think about all day, every day.
Was there a definitive moment in lockdown that you had that penny drop?
Yes, sort of. There was a few of those when, I definitely accelerated lots of my other passions, like just physical things and mental things like surfing and yoga and whatever else that I do. I did heaps more art, that I love painting a lot, like actually doing not just commercial painting, but actually murals and whatnot. So I was doing lots of that, but I still was missing something. And I knew it was my work life. You know, I love what I do. I love my job. I love my passion. Like, you know, my company. I absolutely am a frother. Like, and they took that away from me. I couldn't even get to my own office. I miss my little space. You know,
and you can always you can sense that passion when talking to you as well about whenever you talk about your team or your clients or the service that you provide, you can sense it. It's innately within you. So I want to go back for a second and talk about the background and where that comes from. Is it is that from childhood growing up? Do you come from an ambitious entrepreneurial family that ran businesses, or where did this drive come from?
No. So I come from very humble beginnings, actually. You know, so I was brought up like a few of the stories that I've heard and that you'll resonate with, obviously yourself. Very humble beginnings. Brought up in a housing commission background environment, I should say, and entrepreneurial. I don't know. I always debate what that means in my head.
Me too.
You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I only just asked that the other day about whether what's my opinion, whether they're born or you know, grown into. My only answer, and it still does evolve my answer, but I feel like it's still around the environment you're in, and what circumstance you're in, and what's really driving you. So, you know, if you've achieved or like innately like got this new passion built around from an environment that you're around, or if you've had an environment that's pushed you in a certain direction, then you found something that you resonate with, well, that's sort of entrepreneurial, isn't it? Like, because then you're really going to accelerate that really good feeling. That passion gives you a good feeling. It potentially then drives a purpose, or you might have found that the environment drove a purpose. If the environment drove a purpose, then you're finding something that you really getting some form of satisfaction from, which then drives a passion. So I don't know, for me it's more around the environment. So that environment did create an entrepreneurial spirit in me, where I was trying to, you know, from a young kid, I was like, even at school, primary school, washing windows at the lights, trying to get coins and come home and just, you know, giving it to mum or whatever and sharing it, and then to mowing lawns or whatever, so I always really wanted to just sort us out as quick as possible and get us out of the housing commission. I suppose that was my purpose. And my passion sort of come from just my talents at that time. I just love painting. I love doing graffiti. And
Is it always quite artistic?
I live in the creative world. My whole office, like my CFO, everyone knows. As soon as you get me at that board meeting, get me into bloody, you know, compliance and you know, any of that type of you know, work, they start losing me. So which I know I've got to be across a lot more in my working life, but I'll let them do that.
Let me ask you a question on that then, because there's a lot of business owners out there that they, rightly or wrongly, they neglect, or they're naive to the corporate world and the metrics and the numbers and the things that we need to focus on as business owners, right? And they go, well, no, I'm the creative brain, right? You do have to be aware of it, of course we do. We need to have our finger on the pulse. Like, is that something that you still resist? And where do you sit with just putting the right people in the right job and let somebody else take it over from me and I just delegate?
Okay, so a couple of things in that. As far as numbers are concerned, I was really lucky that I've had an innately epic passion of numbers. So growing up through school, even though I didn't spend much time at school, I still was really good at maths. So numbers, I love mathematics, and so that means P&Ls, balance sheets, you know, age payables, receivables, anything to do with the business, cash flows and three-way cash flows and all the different high-level stuff that the CFO and I bounce on. I love that. So cost reports through our operations team, you know, KPIs, sales, whatever. I love numbers, so that, because I love it, I'm really good at it. Now then come back to compliance, risk mitigation, risk assessing, they're boring. Then you've lost me. So it depends, you know, so it's high level stuff, I get it. However, let them and the lawyers and
You still keep your eye on a little bit though?
Definitely, I'm always still right across it. But I just don't want to dive into the detail. As soon as I'm diving into the detail of, you know, when you're filling out, say for scenario's sake, an insurance,
Mm.
when you got to reapply every year and when you go through your insurance audit and whatnot, like that's like a 100-page novel. Like that's definitely not me.
Yeah.
You know, that's
and it's not a good use of your time, right, or your skill set.
No, get me into the new parts of our business, the new service offerings. What's the strategic plan? Like the vision. You know, that's where they're gonna get the best out of me, and that's everyone knows that sort of in Usher now. So they'll know that, you know, don't come to Theo with let's just quickly get that done and then show him the main points and then get that ticked off and then keep him going. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So 19 years ago, then you start out as, was it a one-man band or just yourself?
Two-man band pretty much.
So,
Myself and a mate. Chris Maxwell, and so it was a legend team, and
just two men in a van.
Just pretty much. Two guys painting, and we started off and started growing the business, and we started. The reason why we started the business was because we actually worked for all the painters, all the large painters, and we actually left them, so there was not really anyone else left to work for, and because we didn't like what they did. So we sort of felt like there was, you know, a huge opportunity. Well, definitely for me, I felt like there was a huge opportunity there. We could definitely do things better and offer a better service and a better quality of work and a safer practice. We were in that environment, you know, in the construction industry where, you know, 20 years ago it was a lot unsafer than what it is today. And I personally was, you know, put in a few unsafe environments. You know, and I definitely wasn't happy about the situations, and I felt like that we could do things better. But I was still studying at the time as well, so I was sort of painting while I was studying, and I was studying architecture, and I sort of felt like I was not really happy there either, because you never get your opportunity to use your artistic flair. I used to call it the grey-haired army, unless you, obviously today is a lot far different than what it was 20 years ago. Today there's a lot of young, savvy architects out there that are like really changing the industry scape, and they're doing an amazing job. 20 years ago, that'd be frowned upon.
Sure.
You know, if you weren't in the game for 20 years, you can't use your artistic flair. So it wasn't encouraged. So that's when I changed the Bachelor of Business, and then after doing some time as a drafty firm, and then changed to Bachelor of Business, and then I did that for 6 months, and then I was like, all right, that's it, I'm done. Like, the painting was my passion. I had a small little business going, and I just kept it going from there. Was there always the ambition to get to the size that you are now, or as big as you could get? Look, I didn't. I have to say no, but like I didn't say that back then. I'm going to be the biggest painter in the country. No, I didn't. I never. I wouldn't have said something like that anyway. I'm not that type of person. Would I have said it 2 years ago? Yes, because it was imminently going to happen anyway. You know what I mean? So I think back then I was just focusing on the next goal. And we have our 20-year sort of goals, and you know, you put your little life book there, what you want to achieve, and then you sort of can come back and, you know, for us, we always live in a 3-year strategic mindset, and where we want to drive the company in 3 years, and, you know, what goals we want to achieve, obviously. So when we land those, and a lot of the times we do them, it's like you put them on paper, and you really manifest them and set the intent clear in the business, and the vision is 100% clear, like, you know, from whatever level in the business you work at, you can go to anyone and they know that vision is clear. I mean, you don't take 3 years. You collectively, it's nailed. You nail it far greater than that if you do that pre-work properly. And that happens every time. And we're like, okay, cool, well, that was cool, what's next? So I'm always living in that what's next mode. So, and once we set that strategic plan and that intent, like even now we're achieving goals, even though it's been COVID. It's not, you know, as fast as we would have liked, or it's not. We haven't grown the business as big as what we wanted to, because we've been impacted in certain areas. However, parts of that strategic plan, all this back end type of stuff that we're working, that was on the business, we're smashing it. It's just out in the workforce that we're not achieving the goals that we wanted to do. But the in-house work we wanted to do, it's given us that ability to really accelerate that.
Yeah.
So
Which is building a foundation for when the market corrects and everybody starts getting buy-in again, right?
We're going to be in a far greater
Yeah.
position as soon as it kicks than what we would have wanted to
Yeah.
have been, even if we, had been going through those normal steps to achieve that strategic plan. Now we've smashed them,
Yeah.
and now we're already on our next stage.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You said something in there about making sure that everybody within the company can explain what the strategic plan is. They know exactly what the directions are. We're big fans of the Rockefeller habits here. It's something that we follow religiously, and one of those things is to make sure that every single person in the company knows diligently the goals, the KPIs, the targets. You can go to anybody and go, what are the targets for this quarter, this financial year, and so forth. How do you communicate that to 500 people? How do you get everybody aligned?
Yeah, good question. I don't know. No,
there you go.
No. I think it's just really with persistence. You can't just go. There's no holy holy grail. You can't just go, oh, here's our strategic plan.
Yeah.
Read it, everybody. No, it's persistence. It's the message. It's our brand promise. And basically you're pushing it through all departments. So whether it's at a toolbox meeting on site, we'll be clear about what we're doing in the next 3 months. So you typically break, even though we might have the 3-year plan.
Yeah.
We'll have short little gold nuggets along the way as we achieve them. So we'll go, here's this quarter's message. So.
And obviously we're fortunate enough to coach your organisation,
Yeah.
so you have like team building days and you're getting everybody together on a regular basis. So that
it's persistence.
Yeah.
It's getting the message across. There's no one. Here we go. Here's this big strategic plan. Everyone read it. No, that's for us, but it's our job as leaders and senior management and middle management to keep that narrative. So for us, we check ourselves as well, which is the old story. What doesn't get inspected, you don't succeed in. So for us, we do that yearly pulse check survey that typically most companies do, but we dive right deep into those. So we don't do just like the typical things. We actually ask for our people on site, apprentices, were they clear? Was it was that message given to them in the induction?
So is this anonymous feedback?
Totally anonymous.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, and we've got message in the bottle. Some questions are there for certain people in our organisation, and we swap them around a little bit as well.
Nice.
So heaps of cool stuff comes in there. Heaps of funny stuff.
Yeah.
It's good.
I love that. I mean, Jack and I did that a couple of years ago when we did anonymous feedback from the team, and we got some of the best lessons. Rightly, whether we wanted to hear it or not, some of the best lessons that we could have ever had.
Absolutely.
As leaders. I remember one thing that came out for me was that they wanted me to be more direct. They actually wanted me to just tell them what to do, which I could never have foreseen coming out.
No way.
So
too nice.
Instead, literally stop trying to be our friend. In a way, like we do. We want direction.
We want to be led.
Yeah, we want, and which is great, right? Because it was coming from them.
And that's a really core leadership skill to have, to be very clear about the expectation, and I've found that hugely within myself as well. Being led and being clear is things that I had to really, hone in my skills on as well. So yeah.
So talk to me about that for a second then, because you're obviously big on personal development as well. We share the same public speaking coach as well. Is that a new thing that you've been doing, as in personal development, or has that always been in your remit to want to?
Well, yeah, I've definitely been accelerating it more within the organisation, and now branching out to different levels of coaching and leadership. However, during this latest one that we're doing right now, which is Leadership Dynamics by Peter Cox, who's been great, I found that what it was actually I was given his book. I met him through a mutual friend. He gave me his book. I was like, oh, here we go. It's one of those little books, not 70, 90 pages. Why your business doesn't need you, or your business shouldn't need you, or something like that. And I've told him many a time, so he already knows this. But I believe anything could be on the title of that book, and it shouldn't necessarily be that. It could be how you want to grow your business, how you can scale your business, because there's so many. So much wealth of knowledge in that book, which is such a small book. But anyway, what I'm coming back to is I should go back to the first chapter, is being led. I'm like, here we go, being led. So I finally picked it up after I've had the book sitting in my room for 3 months, and it was like, I finished this last one. I'm like, all right, I'll read it. Picked it up, being led. I'm like, here we go. I'm a bloke, running this business. I'm not led, feeling that bit of bravado in me. But the truth is that, man, I've been led my whole life, and it's just by reaching out to mentors, and I'm comfortable in saying that, because who leads us? My mates lead me, the people I look up to lead me. I've got, mentors, I've got spiritual leaders, all different types of people. They don't have to be paid coaches or paid mentors to say they lead you. We all reach out, we're all human beings. We bounce off people, and whether that's your partner, your colleague, just because you're the director of the business and then someone's underneath you doesn't mean that they've helped you or led you in a direction that you needed help with. So when I read that, I was like, wow, that was a huge, powerful message for me, because...
So it got you on chapter 1.
He got me on chapter 1. And then I told him that, and then I didn't put the book down that whole weekend, and I was like, what's in that book? Because I just, every spare moment in between hanging out with the kids or whatever, or at the dinner table, just quickly get a couple more pages down. And I dropped the book that in a couple of days over that weekend, and then rang him up straight after that, and I was like, mate, I want you to come in. And so, now we're going through this program. So basically we're going through our senior management, and then we're going to go round 2 with middle management and so forth. And I'm doing it myself as well.
It's good,
So, I think personal development's an ever-evolving thing, and I know you believe in that, and I just love it. It gets me going. I want to learn more stuff. I feel like if I get complacent, I get bored, and then I'll go look somewhere else for something. So if I'm not being challenged or trying to make myself better in all parts of my life, then whether it's surfing, meditating, whatever part I'm working on, basically my physical self, my mental self, or my business self, if anything feels like it's stagnant, I get the shits, and I start seeking for more gold nuggets out there.
Andrew, we spoke about this earlier. Andrew Banks came into the office on Friday, one of our investors, and he said, why not want to be the best? Every single day when you turn up, you can either turn up or you can show up. Anybody can turn up, but can you actually showing up and delivering? So why not want to be the best at everything that you do? We're only here, some would argue more than once, but we're only here once, right? For all intents and purposes. So why not want to be the best?
And that's right. And we were discussing before about our kids and whatnot. Doesn't it feel like our time's real limited? We're here for a short time. We feel like the life is here. It's we've got so much time in our life. We don't. Time's so valuable. So why not be the best we can at everything that we do? And obviously, then we're just having so much fun doing it.
Well, that's it, right? There's a difference between achievement and fulfillment, and you've obviously got great levels of achievement in what you've done within the organisation, but you can feel and sense the fulfillment there as well. On a day, even 19 years in, you're still so passionate about the business, and that's because you love what you do, I'm assuming. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You touched on something. I want to come back to the leadership thing for a second. We talk a lot about be careful who you surround yourself with, what you just said was we're led either way, right? So you're going to be led down a positive route or a negative route, or somewhere just kind of right in the middle. So are you now consciously aware that I'm going to be led either way? So do you now select the people that you spend the most time with, or reduce your exposure to the people that you shouldn't?
1,000,000%. I find myself constantly managing my energy anyway to perform and being able to commit to my team, support my team, support my family, and support myself and my own journey. I need to manage my energy, and I know when to give it and when to hold it, or when to replenish it. And it's, I'm very, very, very aware of my surroundings, and people will suck your energy, people will bad buzz you, and that negativity, everyone that knows me, everyone around me knows me, that if it's all, the negative, and then they're not being optimistic, the whole glass half full type story, I just can't live in that world. Like,
Yeah.
I really get agitated. Like, it makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I can't operate in that world. So 100%, I can't be around. And I'll try and help them people. Like, definitely, if I see them that they've, and that doesn't mean that they've got an innate trait to be like that all the time. You know, life happens.
Yeah.
You know, our environment, occurrences, we've all got shit going on everywhere. And sometimes people bring it to work or bring it in as a mate. And, you know, definitely I'll always try and help and put a positive spin on it. There's definitely no doubt about that. But I always be mindful about how much of that I do, because, you know, when you can get caught up in that, then you become negative, and then I'm not supporting my team if I'm negative, and I'm not. If I've been drained of energy because I'm helping, you know, or being around that negative environment, it does Usher or anything else that I work on no good. So.
Even taking that home, right? Because you're similar to me. You got a couple of young kids as well. Like, how have you been able to do that? Did you switch off when you get home?
Part of the moving to Byron was part of that reason, because it's allowed me that extra little bit of time to switch off. So when I leave the office, I've got that extra little bit of time, and I don't listen to the radio. I'm either audiobook. Typically, I'm more audiobook than podcast.
Yeah, okay.
But I do listen to some podcasts.
Yeah.
But I'm more audiobook, or I'm using the time to make phone calls and quickly have a chat to a few people, or spend some time on the phone with my friends.
Yeah.
On the drive to or from work. Typically,
have you read a book called The Third Space?
No.
By Adam Fraser?
No.
So that what you're describing there is literally the third space. He talks about a lot of people. They go from their working environment, maybe their partner comes and gets them from work, and then they go straight from work to family life, and there's like, it crosses over as opposed to having a little gap in between, and you need to create that third space, whether it be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, that you just get and you get to reset and leave everything behind, so they get the best of you at home.
100%. That's I lived in that world, because when I was living in Palmy, I was like, you know, 15, 20 minutes from the office, and then I'd walk in on the phone, and then the kids would be bang straight on my legs, and then I'd have to then brush them, and then they wouldn't get daddy, and then they would cry, and then my wife would be like, well, why would you do that? Just stay outside, and bloody finish your phone calls outside, and then come in. And then I wouldn't want to do that.
I've had these conversations.
I'm like, I'm out the front. I'm like, I want to come in and see, but I'm on the phone. So, so whether you're 5 minutes away from home or you know, half an hour away from home, doesn't matter. I 100% agree with that. Create that third space. That's what it's called? Create that zone. Get yourself out of that, and then that way. And isn't that, at the end of the day, just being in the present?
Yes. Yeah, 100%.
So just being in the present, like, and I'm trying to better myself about that too. Trying to be a better version of living in the present, definitely, no doubt about it, because and I don't want to take any of that crap home, because a lot of stuff sticks to us during the day, doesn't it? Wake up in the morning going, what do you got for me? Let's go, bring it on. You know, pumping it up, let's go, what curveballs, I'm going to run at them, you know, head first. But then you don't want to take them home either. You want to make sure that they're squared off, or at least at a position where you've like squared them off to deal with them the following day, and don't bring them into home life.
So is there any sort of practicals that you could give us around doing that? Are you somebody that sets your intentions for the next day, so you know, okay, right, I'm drawing a line in the sand for it today, but I know I'm picking it up first thing because it's scheduled, those types of things? Or
definitely.
What do you do?
Yeah. So I do a lot of, we don't watch TV though, so we've got an Apple TV and the kids watch cartoons and stuff, and we don't sitting down watching a movie with my wife or something like that, or some, you know, silly, you know, TV show, or like a series show or something like that, if we feel like we want to watch something. However, so we don't just have the TV going, so typically I'll get the kids down, and then I'll give myself time and then set the intent for the day, or go back into that mode where I was before I walked in the house, and then maybe square some things up and get on the keyboard and just do a few things and shape the day that I want the next day. But really, at night I normally work on all my creative stuff. Like, that's when I get my time, I'm in my zone, and I'm doing all the things that I do outside of Usher, and all the stuff that I have fun with doing. And whether it's painting or doing whatever I'm up to. And then in the mornings, that third space is where I really give my mind the time to set the intent and what I want to achieve out of the day. And typically if I do it the right way in the morning, I don't falter for it. And then because you've done it, then might have set yourself up the night before, but really in the morning, that for me, that's the best practice.
Yeah.
Because then it's in the back of your mind during the day, and if you want to stay strong to yourself, you don't let the noise and the chatter, affect what you set for the day. Don't let yourself falter. Yeah. And then you get home, and then you're like, yeah, I smashed it. That was epic.
Yeah. And then you can be present and actually enjoy that time because you feel that you've achieved your goals for the day.
And again, for me, so much shit happens. Like good stuff, good stuff, and whatever. But I'm saying what I wanted to say there was, don't get too far in front of ourselves. With these again like strategic plans and whatnot. For me at Usher, I always say, okay, look, there's a lot. We've got a big task. There's a lot of chores to do there, and we're going to get to that end goal. Let's just focus on this though. Don't get too ahead of yourself, because if you do that, you've got too much crap going on in your mind, whatever you're rolling out or whatever you're trying to implement, let's just nail it right, and then move forward. And I've done that into my calendar. So over the past few years, I used to have 1 hour meetings with different departments in our business, in our group. I found myself doing, so many 1 hour blocks. I stopped doing that, and they were really frequent, so every week or every 2 weeks. So I stopped that a couple of years ago, and I do chunks now. So then I'll do chunks, but then I won't see them again. Unless it's something critical that I need to address, I won't see them again for two weeks to a month.
So you do a longer chunk?
I do a longer chunk,
but less frequent.
And I get right down into it, and we get the job done, and then I won't have to see them again for 2 weeks or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And I found, for me, that's working far greater than doing 1 hour meetings where you do some pleasantries, you do some stuff. How did we go last week?
Yeah.
And we're in the minutes. Yeah. Did you get that? Like, before you know it, the hour's over.
Yeah. But I'm assuming you would have automated systems whereby you could get into the cloud and have a look to see an update of the state of affairs at all times. Of course. Anyway, so you don't need to be physically with somebody every single week, right?
No. So typically I'll meet with the heads of each, like the general managers of each company, and I was meeting with them once a week. And I was like, we're just regurgitating some stuff, and the long-term goals are still long-term goals. Yeah. So I don't need to see them, they're weapons at what they do.
Meetings for meetings, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. See it everywhere. I'm going to go in a different direction quickly. I want to talk about public speaking.
Okay.
Because I remember you approached me last year about it. You referenced the journey that I'd been on. I think you knew my story.
Man, you're absolutely killing it. When I saw you up at the Entrepreneurs thing and you hosted that, how many people were there?
400.
Just only 400.
Yeah.
Man, you smashed it. It was awesome. You did such a awesome job. And where I watched where you come from to where you got to, I was like, how did you do that?
I appreciate it. Yeah, and now you know how I did it. I had training.
Yeah, that's right. And he's a gun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we'll give Harry Singer a good plug at this point. But my why around that, firstly, I hated public speaking. I always had a real kind of debilitating fear around even like this type of thing, or even speaking in front of my own team of 5, 10, 15, 20 people, let alone 400 or I've done 1,000 people since then as well.
Yeah.
But I wanted our message to get out to more people. I felt like our business and what we'd created was powerful. It was getting good results, and by me not having the balls, for want of a better phrase, to actually get up there and do it, I was actually indirectly negatively impacting a lot of people by not giving them the training. So that was my why, right?
Okay.
What was yours? Why did you want to get into or learn to do this bit better?
My why was because, so there's a couple whys in it. One is because I definitely want to continue speaking to the younger generation, and I want to be able to help them on their journey and help kids that were going through stuff that I was going through. And I've seen some really good results from me talking to people and affecting people, and I was just getting not paranoid, I was upset with myself the way that I was delivering it. I felt like I could be far more powerful in my talks, and when I'm with them, I felt like you, sometimes like, far out, okay, now there's all these people in front of me, whereas put me in my natural habitat at Usher, and give me 1,000, give me 500 people, give me whoever you want, I'll you know, as long as we don't have a script,
Yeah.
I'm totally fine. I'm in my.
So it wasn't the numbers for you then; it was just new people that you didn't know.
Yeah, it was sort of more like I just wanted to make sure, and then not only that, but the structure of it too. Delivering the structure, you know, I get caught up in, and then I started finding myself going to a script or trying to make sure that I cover certain topics, and then you get into, I don't know, like reading from a piece of paper, you stutter, you're not getting your sentences right, you're not really delivering a message, you got zero tonality, like you got no, there's no authenticity, you're not yourself.
Yeah.
But then how to remember that, you know, was another problem I had. So I don't think I'm ever nervous. I've never really been nervous about being in front of people, but I've been, when I look back at then talking and presenting, and then if you say like now presenting to the industry, sometimes I feel like I talk too fast or I skip over things. I wasn't, you know, pausing at the right time to let people catch up, and all these different things that now I know, I was doing way back then, and so I wasn't really, and that's why I reached out. I was like, "But how do you do what you do so epic, and you've perfected it? I want to learn that." So
I'm a long way from perfecting it. I mean, I'm on my second year with Harry, and I've still got so much more to learn. But I get what you're saying, right? It's there was a realization for me that just like selling, there's a process to public speaking, and it doesn't have to be scripted. It doesn't have to be you become this robotic character on stage. It's just about telling your truth better and articulating it in an order that compels or inspires people to do something, right?
Yeah, that's right. And look, at this short amount of time that I've been doing Theo, I've been doing with him for 6 months, but it's made a world of difference to me, and I've still got a long journey there. And I've got to really dive into that a lot more this year, which is the plan, to really spend a lot more time there, because COVID really spun out a fair few things and really knocked out a lot of my time to do the work on myself, where I spent to really help a lot more of Usher. You know, so hopefully now, I can really allocate a lot more time to my personal things that I want to develop on, which is not just that, but a couple of other things that are happening, and really, I've just got so much to learn there, and I know I can get so much better at it. It's just a time thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Last couple of questions. So you're doing leadership training, so you can obviously help the team grow. You're doing public speaking training. What else are you working on a personal level at the moment?
Okay, so I've got a spiritual leader. Definitely working on.
What does that mean?
Okay, what does that mean?
Because I'm not religious, but I sometimes say I'm getting more spiritual the older I get, but I still actually don't even know what it means when I say it.
Look,
and I didn't expect to discuss this, by the way.
Yeah. I'll tell you. Look, I don't like. For me, I've always known I've had a connection with something, right? So, my whole life, I've really been innately connected and really passionate about just energy, and I've been connected to, you know, so people can call it God, Buddha, the universe, spirit, Mother Earth, whatever. Like, I don't, whatever you, like, I'm not going to get religious on anyone. Like, I don't care what everyone calls it, but we've all got a connection with something, you know, we've all got a connection with each other. And I've found that I've been quite lucky to be able to tap into that a lot and help myself, you know, with different things that are happening in my life. And so I'm on a different journey at the moment, you know, from where I was and to where I am today. You know, but I would not be where I am today, like, if I didn't go through that journey. That's definitely shaped me, and I would never take anything back. You know, I used to be a wild kid and a bit of a pest out there, but you know, but you know, now, like, I'm sober. I don't drink at all, and I feel like if I do and I go wild with the boys, I feel like it dulls that connection down a little bit, and I feel like now I want to work on that. So what does that spiritual leader mean? I feel like I want to accelerate that work, and I through meditation, yoga, breath work. I've been doing a lot of different types of breath work, doing a rebirthing course and whatnot on this Saturday with a group of my mates that I feel like that they need a bit of help. So we're going to go all do that together. I feel like the divine masculine needs to come out more, and a lot of all us men out there, like, we all need to work on ourselves. Like, we've all been through a lot, and we're all wild men. We're all do a lot of things with all our mates, and I feel like, you know, we have a lot of fun out there, but rarely do a lot of the guys spend time for themselves. So to answer your question, what does that mean? I feel like I just really want to help more guys get more in touch with themselves and do inner work rather than just what the perceived, you know, mental health work is. You know, people go to psychologists or go to rehabs or, you know, other different types. I'm more looking at like holistic work and inner work for yourself. So I've really been frothing it and absolutely loving where I'm going with it. I'm feeling like I'm getting to know myself better. I'm definitely creating a better version of myself, and I just don't want. I'm just not stopping. Like it's
so good.
Yeah. So different people are helping me with that. My wife and I went out to Uluru. I think I was telling you about it. Yeah, before, just before Christmas, and went out there and did a lot of meditating and conferences at a conference and ceremonies, and it was epic. That's such a spiritual place out there. I had no idea that it was, you know, the navel of the earth. That's the solar plexus chakra, and it was just.
Are you surprised that the journey that you're on doing this at the minute? Is it?
No, I'm not. I'll tell you one thing. I've always known, and it's sort of been always there. And I've told this to my mentors. Like, I knew I was going to do that work, but I was so gung-ho, and so I had my blinkers on my career and my work. I knew what I wanted to do. I knew what I had to do, and I've always been putting it like this to the side. It's almost like when I meditate or you know, when we all talk to ourselves, it's like, hang on, I'll get to you when I'm ready. You know I'm going to get there, but I need to get this done, and nothing's going to stop me on my path. So just let me be, you know, and I've been on my path, and, you know, I've been like crazy worker. Like I'm a high output worker. Like I'm constantly working, and I love it. Like I'm not complaining. But you know, I'll leave it dark and get home at dark when I was like on that hard growth phase and wearing all the caps and the nightmare zone and, you know, your meltdowns and blah blah blah. You know, I've been through that journey, and during that stage, you know, I knew I was on that path, and I kept something to the side, going, I'll get to you. You know, and then so does it surprise me? No, because I knew I was going to get to a point in my life and start that work. And now's the time. And now,
is there any sense that if you'd have done this sooner, it could have positively impacted what you were doing at work, or given you better balance, or do you know what I mean, more creativity?
Possibly. It would have, but I wouldn't have been the same person. So I never like fall back or look back and go, I could have, should have, would have, because I wouldn't be the person I am today. So I don't know what that other person would have looked like, whether it was good, bad, or equal, or whatever. My past has shaped me. You know, all the good things I've done, all the bad shit I've done in my life, and it's definitely made me the person I am today. And you know, I've been asked that question before. You know, what would you have told just, you know, you're the 10-year ago self? I would have fucking told him nothing. I would have said, mate, just keep your chin up, and you're gonna get shit happening. Keep your chin up and just back yourself. And go, just back yourself, and just don't go too far dark down, you know, because who's our biggest critics? But we're our biggest critics. We beat the shit out of ourselves badly, you know, and I used to do that all the time. Because I was just want to be better and want to push harder and grow bigger and do all these amazing things, and I was just doing it to myself. So. You know, so I wouldn't have said anything. And again, so to answer your question, would it maybe? You know, but I don't know. Like I don't want to. I'm ready now.
You can't live in the.
I'm ready now, and I'm very grateful for you know, for who I've become now because of that path. You know, and I'm just so grateful for everything that's happening in my world. You know, it's just so much amazing things that are going on, and I'm so blessed. Like my 2 amazing kids, and I'm just so happy. So I want to, you know, really want to work on, and that's part of my journey too. Is all this like give back. Like I've been so passionate about giving back and doing all this new work and amazing work for charities and initiatives and all the different types of things that I've got going on in my world at the moment, like the Usher Cup. You know. Got a new surf contest going on, a hybrid surf contest. You know, gender equality, equal first prize for women, equal first prize for the men's. Supporting 4 charities. We've raised, you know, a lot of money, and yeah, just real passionate about it. I want to keep down that path.
So good, man. We'll finish with that final question. Anybody that does want to reach out to you personally, maybe they want you to come and speak at one of their events, and anything of that like, or even just to contact the Usher Group for your services, how can we find you?
Yeah, just contact the Usher Group, ask for me if you want to contact me personally. I'm always open, bud. Like, I'm always trying to look out there for young painters or younger tradie business people. I'm open. I don't charge for anything. I don't charge for coaching young people. I don't charge for helping come in and have a look at their business or helping or anything like that. If there's anyone out there that wants to get a hold of me, don't hesitate.
Yeah.
Just DM me on Insta or find me somewhere, or Theo at Usher Group, or ring the office or rock up to the office. I love that. Like I'm definitely out there. Like I definitely don't close my door to anything like that. And
amazing. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming in. I know there's gonna be so much value in there, man.
Cheers, bud.
Appreciate it.
Awesome.